Then. So welcome everyone. I'm Julie. I work in the admissions office. I'm one of the admissions counselors there, and I cover a lot of the local schools and the New York City schools, but I can help you with any of your questions today at the end or at any time. I'll give you my information at the bottom, but I'm sure all of you are either assigned to maybe myself or a couple other counselors that we have in the office, and I'm sure you have connections with them, but welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for applying to Niagara. Hopefully we'll see you in the fall, but we want to just make you a little bit more comfortable about coming, given everything that's going on, and kind of tell you what we have to offer at Niagara. We're going to go through a variety of topics tonight about academic wellness, mental, emotional, and physical wellness, physical and social wellness, and spiritual wellness. And we're going to talk to a handful of directors tonight about all the different services they provide and how we can help you when you come to NU. So as we're going through, maybe write down questions, put them in the chat box if you want, and then we'll kind of get those out at the end. But I just wanted to start off by introducing Dr. Tim Ireland, who is the provost at Niagara University, and he is going to talk to you a little bit about the academic side of things first, and then we're going to carry on after with Diane Stolting from the Academic Success Center. But Dr. Ireland, would you like to begin this evening?
Sure. How are you tonight, Julie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm a little tie-dye, man. I told you already. It's a little past my bedtime, so I'm pushing hard to join you guys this evening. You're probably just waking up, but I've been grinding it out since early in the afternoon. So my day starts around 1, and I like to work from about 1 to 4, right? And so, anyways, Julie said, Julie, you're an alum too, right? You're a proud alum of NU.
I am a proud alum. I should have
Right?
mentioned it. Yep,
Right?
2013.
So, I did not have the pleasure of having Julie in class. She avoided my offerings like the plague. She had no desire.
True.
Right.
Right. But I think your name is on my diploma, which is
I
good.
signed it. Yeah.
So there we go.
Kicking and screaming against it. So as Julie said, my name's Tim Ireland, and I'm the academic vice president here at Niagara. I started, most of you were born after the year 2000. I started working at Niagara before you were born, so I've been here quite a while. And so things that are relevant in my life, like 9/11 and the O.J. Simpson trial, are totally irrelevant to you guys. So our frames of reference are a little different, but I try to remain as contemporary and as current as possible. But you'll notice that I'm probably way off in terms of my current skill sets. But I have learned how to do this video stuff. And so I figured I'd just talk to you a couple minutes. So I'll tell you a story and then tell you what we do here at NU. My son went off to college several years ago. He's out of college now. He's been out for a while. And so far, so good. He's turned out all right, I think. But so he heads off to college, and he's in a pretty tough discipline. I wanted him to come to NU so I could spend a lot of time walking with him to class, and he didn't really have any interest in that. And so I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks into the semester, I'm chatting with him on the phone. He's like, "Oh, this is kind of hard," right? And I'm like, "Joe, you're kind of talking to a professional who's in higher ed, and you might want to get some help," right? So he's kind of wobbling, right? What I call, he's academically wobbling a bit. Excellent high school student, just had a little challenge transitioning into college, right? So I'm like, "Joe, get some help, right? Get a tutor. Talk to your professor. Go to office hours and get an explanation about the material that's being covered." And so what's my son say to me? "Dad, I got this. You don't know what you're talking about," right? So the semester goes on, comes home for Thanksgiving. "How's it going?" It's okay," right? Grades post in December. It's a very quiet Christmas, my friends, right? Because he had about a 1.8 his freshman year, first semester of college. A 1.8 is not good. That means at least one F and one D, right? And I'm frustrated and he's disappointed and we sit there staring at each other over Christmas dinner, right? And I'm thinking, I mean, it happens at NU, but it's a lot harder for it to happen at NU, right? Because at NU, right, where my son was attending, he had to act on his own, right? At NU, if you wobble, we're gonna reach out to you, right? And we're gonna offer support to you. And so Diane Stolten can talk about the types of academic support that are available, but it doesn't make any difference what program you enter into. It doesn't make any difference what your major is. If you're wobbling in class, we have a system built, right? So faculty can report and say, I have, Joe Ireland, my son, is in class and he's missed 3 days. He failed 4 quizzes and he's not doing the homework. And that goes out into our system, right? And then we have a team that wraps around my son, Joe Ireland, and says, Joe, how can we help you? You need help in the writing center. You need help with a tutor for your calculus class. You need this, you need that. And so we kind of proactively reach out and offer services to you, right? And then if you don't want to participate, guess what we do? We reach out to you again. And we reach out to you again. Because we've accepted you into NU, we want to make sure that you're afforded every opportunity to succeed at NU, right? And so it's not uncommon to wobble a little bit in your first couple weeks of college, right? It's not uncommon. And we have a system here designed to help you navigate through those wobbles, right? So you can have a good, successful first semester and a good, strong second semester, and so you can complete your degree in 4 years. All right, so that's all I got to say. And Diane can speak more in a little bit more detail about those kind of wraparound services we provide to help you succeed. And let me just, I don't want to steal Diane's thunder, but if as you progress through, you have a talent in a particular discipline, a particular area, and you want to give back, you can work in the Student Success Center as a paid tutor, right? And work with the next cohort of new students that come in who may wobble a little bit. And so this is wonderful Vincentian opportunity, right? To take advantage of the services, and then as you progress through, pay it back to the next group of students that come in. So that's all I got, Julie. I'll hang out for a little while, but I may not make it through the whole hour because I'm getting kind of old.
Great job, Dr. Ireland. Go have dinner. So now I'm going to welcome, and thank you, Dr. Ireland. I'm going to welcome Diane Stolting, our Director of Academic Success.
Great, thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Tim, you did steal some of the thunder, so thanks for that. Okay, hi, everybody. I'll talk a little bit about the types of services that the Academic Success Center provides for students. I'm going to start with peer tutoring. We hire about 50 tutors a year. So there are students that they've done well in their classes. They've got at least a 3.0 GPA. They have faculty recommendations. They tutor other students in their courses. And to give you a kind of a flavor of what kinds of classes, it's across the board. Math classes, stats, calculus, biology, chemistry, philosophy, religion classes, and just a lot of them. And we do focus though on 100 and 200 level courses because our tutors oftentimes, they're harder to keep once they hit junior and senior year because they go off and they get internships and they student teach or they have clinicals and what have you. But we do focus on the 100 and 200 level courses. And it doesn't cost any money to get the tutoring. The tutoring is usually a small group, 1 to 5 students or so, and we schedule the tutoring sessions for 2 one-hour sessions each week throughout the semester. It's a bit of a commitment, but the tutors cover a lot of territory. It could be everything from practicing problems to just really clarifying textbook information. It could be talking about study strategies that they used when they were in the class that really helped them, reviewing for tests and things like that. We also offer drop-in tutoring. That's scheduled tutoring. The drop-in tutoring is for math, and that's open about 20 to 25 hours a week or so in a number of different math classes. In addition to that, we have a writing center that's open about 35 hours a week throughout the semester. And that's staffed by a couple of professional writing tutors, but also students. We also hire students to be peer writing tutors. We train them, put them through the ringer when it comes to training, because we want them to be really great tutors for our students. But the types of things that they help students with could be the brainstorming, just starting writing papers, brainstorming ideas, to going through things like grammar, punctuation, organization, and even documenting papers. So the sessions are generally about 30 minutes a week. And again, they'll help students however they can with the writing, and that's across disciplines. It's not just like English classes or things like that. The other service that we provide that's growing, we call it academic coaching, and that's really to help students make the transition to the college environment. And an academic coach, pretty much every staff member in my department is an academic coach, and we take on a group of students each semester to track. We're not just tracking their progress. We really want to work with students to make sure that they're learning the skills that they need to be successful in college. So one of the very first things we'll do is we'll have them just bring out all their course syllabi, and we'll go through it. They need to understand the expectations of their professors. It could be things like attendance, how much reading, how much writing, what's the homework load for whatever that is, projects. And then we give every student these big purple, of course, calendars. They're 11 by 17, and it's got every single week of the semester on it. And we'll ask them to go through their course syllabi with them and really map out all the requirements that they have over the course of the semester. And I'm not maybe as old as Tim is, but I like paper. I'm sure he does too, but I like paper. And it's really good to illustrate what happens or what the workload is like during a semester when you actually map it out like that on one sheet of paper. I'm sure there's other great ways to do it online too, but we use these purple calendars. But that also helps students in terms of getting organized and planning when they're going to start major projects and whatnot, when their exams are, and then how to study. The academic coaches will talk to students about note-taking, study strategies. They'll also talk about them just how they're doing at the university. And if needed, they make referrals to counseling, our health center, financial aid, whatever it might be. They also talk with students about maybe how to approach their faculty to talk about questions that they might have. So, and that's important too, to prepare for those meetings. They'll also talk to students and encourage them to read their email and respond to other departments when they contact them. So academic coaching can be a real help, and we'll offer it to any student. We do target some groups of students on campus, but it's available to any student on campus. The next resource I want to talk about just briefly is our accessibility services staff. If you have a disability and you've been using accommodations like extra time on tests, or maybe note-taking assistance or an interpreter, or maybe you need some kind of accommodation for diet or even in a residence hall, you would meet with someone from our staff to make those arrangements. And the best advice I have is just to contact our office as early as possible to start making those arrangements. And if you need the contact information, I'm sure someone at admissions or Julie, you can make sure that they get that contact information. We'll meet with students, anyone that walks through the door, to try to point them in the right direction and provide the support that they need. And we do a lot of that tracking down of students, making those calls and emails again and again and again to try to reach students, just because it's so important to their success at the university. Our goal in the end is to help students be as independent as they possibly can and to build their self-confidence so they're successful not just at Niagara, but later in life too. So anyway, I'll turn it back to Julie. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Diane. Great job. Now I'm actually going to turn things over to my friend Adrian. Kaz mom. She is in the Student Health and Wellness Center, and she's also the director there, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about that as well. Adrian?
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Happy to see everybody. I'm the Director of Student Health and Wellness, which means I oversee health services and counseling on campus. In the health services office, we have a nurse practitioner and 3 RNs, and we can act as your primary care doctor and practitioner for the whole time that you're on campus. We can see you for anything, just like an urgent care can. We can dispense medication, we can run tests, and we can refer you to a higher level of care if you were to need something like that. In the counseling center, we have 4 licensed mental health counselors. That's a free and confidential service. They're all master's prepared, and they can help with things. Sometimes people just want to come and talk to them one time. Sometimes they come and see them weekly or bi-weekly. Things like adjusting to college, relationship advice, anything like that that you might need extra help with, those people are there for you as well. I also have one of my nurses is a case manager. Sometimes people have need some connection in the community with some community resources, and that nurse can help you with that, can help you get connected to anything you need there. We're also the COVID people. We're doing COVID testing and COVID screening and everything COVID going on in our office. Thanks, Julie.
Oh, thank you, Adrian. Great job. Adrian's been working pretty much nonstop with this whole pandemic, so she's doing a great job. Next, we are going to touch on the physical and social side of it, and we are actually going to start with Kim Fenton, who is our Director of Residence Life. Thank you, Kim.
Oh, thanks, Julie. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I just want to start out by number one, the fact that this was the event that you guys wanted to come to, the wellness one, I think is just awesome, because I don't think that we do enough to really support our own wellness and our own self-care. Outside of NU, I also am a yoga teacher, so I'm very much into how we're taking care of our nervous system, how we're being able to cope with our own stress and stuff. So I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm going to start off thinking back when I was in college. I had such a great college experience, and it made me decide to do my whole entire career for the rest of my life to work on a college campus. And why I decided to do that was because I became an RA in college, which is, that's the upperclassman that lives on the floor with you, and they're the ones who plan your events, and they, have everybody come together for different things. They look out for you throughout your college career. And when I first got to college, I was so nervous. I was away from home. I had never been away from home before. I was having a roommate, and it was such a stressful and nerve-wracking experience for me when I was, 17 and a freshman. And my RAs were the ones who came to me on the first day, who got to know my name, who made sure that everything was going great with me and my roommates, who encouraged us to join clubs, and they had events for us. And that was a really impactful experience for me. I've always remembered them. Years and years later, I still remember who they were, those people that I met my very first day on campus. And so I now do the same thing. I oversee our residence halls, and I work with our students on campus. And another piece I noticed when I was in college was how much focus on the transition it is, because this is it's a big transition, but you can do it, and you can do this really well when you've got the people around you to be able to make this whole thing work for you. And I think that's, just looking at the screen here with my colleagues and knowing who your professors are going to be, you can do this here at NU. I know you can, because we've got these people. So one of the reasons why I think living on campus is a really, really important experience is because you're going to be around, 40 other people on your floor who they're going through the same things you're going through. They know what it's like to be staying up until midnight studying for this test. They know what it's like to be, this year working through online classes the same way that you are, this year and everything too. They know what this is like. And to have those people around you, to create those connections, to have that support network built right in is invaluable. I think that when I look at wellness and when I look at what makes this transition to college helpful, it's the connections. And it starts with who's around you. And then I think going beyond that, like I mentioned, we have our CAs on campus, and we call them CAs on campus. It stands for Community Advisor, but it's that same thing as the RA on the floor. Kylan said to you before that we're going to reach out to you if we notice that you're struggling. So Diane and her team are going to reach out to you if you're struggling in your classes. Well, me and my team, we're going to reach out to you if we start to notice some things outside of classes. We're going to notice if, hey, Jimmy hasn't been to one of our events on our floor in a couple of weeks. Let me check in with him, see how he's doing. Or yeah, I know that Susie was having a hard time with her roommate or she's homesick. I'm going to check in with her a couple of times a week just to make sure she's doing okay. So she knows she's got someone here who's looking out for her. And I think that's one of the things that we do really well here at NU is let you know that people are here and people are looking out for you. Because I think, again, it's that network. It's who's here, who's looking out for me, who's kind of on my level, my peers. Do I have a connection there? We're going to have programs for you in the residence halls. We're going to, introduce you to people around your floor. But then the next step beyond that is, okay, who's the next level up? If I need something, if I have a question, if I'm not sure where to go to. And so whether it's your professors, whether you're here on campus with us, whether you are in a club, whether you're any of the other services that my friends here are going to talk to you about, I think that's something that NU does really well. I'm excited. I hope to see you guys here next fall. Go Bills. If you're not from Buffalo, we were just talking about this. Go Bills. All the other things that make our wellness when we become people who do more than just go to class and all that. But thanks so much. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll stick around for the Q&A or put them in the chat and I'll be happy to respond.
Thank you so much, Kim. Next, we are going to pass it over to Bill Newton, who is actually our unofficial Dean of Fun and Assistant Director of Campus Activities. Bill?
All right, thanks, Julie. Good evening, everybody. Absolutely, go Bills. First and foremost, I guess. This is the time of year for that. And Derek is up next, and he'll probably say it 4 times in his remarks. But yeah, so I'm the Assistant Director of Campus Activities. And so when it comes to, we're talking about wellness, right? And social wellness. So for me, that comes down to doing well inside the classroom, as we've talked about with Tim and Diane and her team. But then it definitely complements outside the classroom. And that is by getting involved and enjoying some engaging and enjoyable opportunities for you to get involved outside the classroom. So really from a wellness perspective then, I am always proud, and if you've been on open house calls before, you may have heard me say, we have over 100 different clubs and organizations to get involved in, over 100. And I'll say it again and again. But from a wellness perspective, we always encourage you to get involved, probably with starting slow in getting your involvement, don't get involved in 12 different things right off the bat because you're going to get overwhelmed really quickly. Let that evolve over time. One of the favorite words that I use with my students all the time is the word balance. So that is, balancing your starting off in a new, at college, which is a big deal, no matter where you go, and it better be Niagara, right? But no matter where you go, getting used to college life, living in the residence halls or commuting back and forth, whichever you decide, but figuring out what that right balance is for you, along with your academics and getting involved on campus. So I always say, get involved in 2 clubs and organizations off the bat, because you want to get that taste of involvement. It'll help you get more connected to campus, meet new friends, which is what that first semester or first year is all about, and get you connected to some great faculty and staff people on campus. So those 2 clubs, I always recommend, one is tied to your major. So if you're an accounting major, well, join the Accounting Society. If you're an education major, join our Future Teachers Club. That's just 2 examples. And then for the other organization, join something fun. Join something that'll get you connected to campus. So maybe we're going to hear from Christina, maybe it's campus ministry, something tied to campus ministry. Maybe it's our Student Government Association. Maybe it's a club sport with Derek. Whatever is going to make Niagara more enjoyable for you. And then in addition to going to class and doing well in your classes, take advantage of those opportunities to be a part of something awesome. So you don't have to be a part of a club oftentimes to go to those club events. Certainly within campus activities, we host events like comedians, mentalists, I almost said physicist, no, late night events, bus trips off campus, things that you will be able to do during your Niagara days at probably zero additional cost or very minimal cost if we take a bus trip off campus, you know, those type of things. Things that you'll be able to do at Niagara that once you graduate, you won't be able to do. And just create those memorable experiences and make new friends. You know, certainly this year we've kept everyone's safety in mind. You know, we've really cut back on the amount of bus trips we do, and we've taken our safety precautions when it does come to in-person events. But I'm proud to say, you know, that we were able to do 40 to 50 virtual and in-person events just last semester. So we really embraced that and have had great connections with our students that way. And we'll continue that this semester. And then we'll see how it goes after that. But lastly, I just want to say that, you know, I think that Kim mentioned it, all of us on this call here, we're going to be here. We're here tonight. We're going to be here when you get started at Niagara to help you along the way. You know, lots of conversations that I have with students sometimes end up having little to nothing to do with campus activities, and they're more about just how they're doing, how can they get better connected to campus, or can I help them refer them to someone else, and just make sure that they're having the best experience at Niagara that they can be, but more importantly, you know, have them being the best student and the best student leader that they can be. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Great job. And now I'm going, and you'll have a lot of fun with Bill, so you'll get to know him. And Derek's pretty fun too, so we're going to turn it over to Derek Huff. He's the director of the Kieran Center. Derek?
Well, good evening, everyone. Since Kim and Bill stole my Go Bills thunder, I guess I'll just have to show off in my office here. Everywhere I go, got bumper stickers, the whole 9 yards of the Bills, so we're all excited about that. But thanks for taking the time tonight to kind of sit and listen to us. I really think this is a key component when you start talking about health, wellness, physical, spiritual, all that stuff. It ties in immensely with your academic success on campus. And like Bill said, getting involved, I think, is the key word. Involvement. To an extent where you're comfortable and can still be successful in your academics. You don't want to, I've seen a lot of students come in and they say, I want to do 4 club sports and I want to join the math club and this and that. And then they find out very quickly, it's like, whoa, I got to step back a little bit. So do it like Bill said in steps, get comfortable here and join some things. My role in all that, I'm the director of campus recreation and the Kieran Recreation Center here on campus. And we're kind of your one-stop shop for the physical, social aspect of being on campus. We're the fitness center on campus. We have 4 basketball courts, a racquetball court, swimming pool, athletic fields, a turf field, all sorts of different things that you can get involved with, from our intramural sports, which are leagues and tournaments that we set up through the year that you can form teams with friends, with people on your floor, people that you become acquainted with on campus, and get involved and compete against other students at Niagara. And then one of the bigger programs we have is our club sport program, which is organized teams. They practice 2 to 3 times a week, compete in games on tournaments on weekend, and play and travel against teams from other schools. We have, right now we have 18 active club sports, which I'm very proud for a school this size is rare. You usually don't see that much involvement from a club sport level. We have over 400 athletes that compete. And there's been a few stories tonight. I'll share a little personal story, kind of how I got involved in rec. And decided I want to make this career. I went to SUNY Brockport, was a phys ed major, and like Tim talked about his son, I really kind of struggled through my freshman year, wobbled, I think he said. I was wobbling and almost falling over. It was pretty bad. I went into college as an athlete, had an injury that ended that, and it really mentally kind of shut me down. And I struggled through my first year, and it wasn't until I got a work study job in our campus rec department and was able to work in the intramural and club sport office. I found a passion for it, not just for the work, which has kind of led me to where I am now, getting a master's degree in rec and then eventually in Niagara, but the involvement in the club sports and the intramurals. I met so many people through doing that, just going to the rec center, walking around, talking to people. You'd be amazed at how many common interests you find in other people just by stepping foot in our facility. Same thing with going to an event that campus activities host, or an event that you find on a floor program in the residence halls. You'll find commonalities in places you never thought you'd find them. And you're not necessarily going to find that in the classroom as much because you don't have those conversations. So we're here really to support you in your physical pursuits with the fitness aspect of it, but also to help you get involved, meet people on campus, You'll see a lot of collaboration at this university, and Tim kind of talked about, or Dr. Ireland, I always call him Tim, but Dr. Ireland kind of mentioned how his son being in a larger school got lost in the weeds a little bit. That's not going to happen here. You'll see all of our departments working together on programs and activities, and oftentimes you'll see me, Bill, Kim, Christina, Adrian at the same event. It's just the nature of the place. So we talk, we help students, and that doesn't stop in your classrooms. It definitely transpires outside. So yeah.
Thank you, Derek. And then last but not least, we're going to turn this over to the spiritual side of things. Christina Deloya, our Director of Campus Ministry. Christina.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Julie. I'm Christina. I'm the Director of Campus Ministry. I've been here at Niagara for 11 years. I love it. It's a wonderful place to work, and it's been a great place for me to learn and grow along with students. So I'm happy to welcome you to our community, and hopefully we'll be meeting in person soon. I just want to talk to you a little bit about campus ministry and our role in students' spiritual development. And this goes beyond faith and religion. So when we talk about spirituality, we talk about an integral part to all of our beings. We all have a spiritual element of who we are. It's the way that we relate to the world around us. It's the way that we relate to others. For some of us, that's God. For some of us, it's our neighbor, nature, those sorts of things. So it's how we see ourselves and our gifts and our contributions in relation to the greater world. So I just like to, put that out there first, because sometimes people hear ministry and they think, it's just going to church, and it's just this really kind of narrow definition. And really what we're here for is to help you develop your whole person and to really kind of discover who you are and find that purpose and that meaning in your life. And so we do this by providing space and opportunities for you to dig deep and to put some of the things you're learning in the classroom into practice through service experiences and just by interacting with us, the professional campus ministers, and with one another. We are open and here for students of all traditions. Every student has this spirituality and what we're seeking to help develop. So regardless of religious background or no religious background or experience, we want to know you, and we want to walk this journey with you. We spend a lot of time building relationships with students and creating opportunities for community among students. And I think we can all attest to learning just how important that is, especially during these days of isolation. It's I know I've become even more aware of how much I need other people and just to be with people. So we try to create those opportunities to be together, whether it be a Bible study, just a faith discussion group, or just a fun game night or trivia night, just bringing people together to get to know each other. We've modified some of our programming to offer virtual experiences, but of course, as human beings, we do crave that interaction, and so we try to continue gathering students in person as much as we can. As long as we're able to safely do so, we'll continue with that and look forward to going back to our where in person is the norm at Niagara. Some other opportunities for gathering and for sort of looking inward during your time at Niagara is through prayer. And we offer a lot of diverse prayer experiences on campus. So we do offer Catholic Mass in the chapel 6 days a week. But then you'll also see various offerings from our department, like a non-denominational praise and worship service, or more meditation or contemplative styles of prayer. So again, our goal here is to accompany students on your journey to spiritual wellness and wholeness, and that is unique to every individual. So that's why we try to offer kind of a diversity of experiences. Whatever that looks like for you as an individual, our hope is that through these times of intentional pause, these breaks away for prayer and reflection, that you're growing closer to understanding who you are and your call and your purpose in life. And then, we provide opportunities to put some of these discoveries into action. By now, You may have heard a little bit about Niagara's tradition of service. And in campus ministry, we offer lots of different service opportunities, and we put a special spin on it. It's really important to our ministry that we spend time sharing and reflecting on those experiences. So after you go, on a mission trip, or after you go serve at the soup kitchen, we want to give you time and space to debrief, to talk about what you saw, who you met, how it affected you, and then, start making some connections to where you might be called, to go next in life, in your life of service outside of Niagara. And so finally, our office, just serves as an additional resource on top of all of my wonderful colleagues we've heard from tonight. We are here to support students in times of need, be that grief support, financial need, managing stress, making that transition into college and out of college on the other end of it. We have a really caring and dedicated staff, and we just want to see students succeed and flourish. And that can really be said for the entire NU community. So I hope you've received a taste of that tonight, and I look forward to meeting you in person soon. And you'll be in my prayers as you continue this journey of discernment and figuring out the next steps. And if you have any questions, just shoot them in the chat, and I'll leave my information there as well. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Christina. Julie had to step away, so I'm just going to try to take the lead here. So this is kind of the portion now. You've heard from a lot of folks here tonight. Diane from our Academic Success Center, Adrian, who double dips awesomely with our student health and our counseling center, so student health and wellness. Kim, our director of residence life. Derek, our director of the Kieran Center, myself from campus activities, and Christina, our director of campus ministry. So we've tried to, in the last 35 minutes, kind of sum up a little bit of what our academic and just overall wellness at the university looks like. But certainly if you have any questions right now, you can put them in the chat box. So I'll kind of keep rambling for another minute, I suppose, or two, but I think just about all of us have also dropped our contact information in the chat box this evening, so maybe take a quick look at that before you log off the meeting tonight. Does any of our other my fine coworkers and fellow Bills fans have any remarks that they'd like to add this evening? Okay, well, with that said, again, we hope that we've really taken wellness. Oh, there we go. JC has a question. So Christina, do you want to take that? Are there any chapel attendance requirements? Any mandatory type religious classes? So if you want to talk about the academic component that religion has on students at Niagara.
Sure. There are no chapel attendance requirements here, and I believe, and Diane, you could probably correct me, are we still at 3 religious studies courses, 3 philosophy courses as part of our core curriculum? And religious studies offers a variety of courses. So you'll get usually typically involved in an intro to religion, world religions, or an intro to Christianity right away your first year. And then you can kind of decide where you want to go with further courses.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Christina. If there's any other questions, Julie may have joined back with us. Julie, are you with us?
I am here. Something happened. I'm not sure what, but I'm here.
All right.
Sorry, everyone. I moved
That's
around a little.
Well,
but I can
Diane,
take over the
yeah,
questions
go ahead, Julie.
if I'm just trying to figure out where we left off. I'm so sorry, everyone. Did
That's okay.
you, Bill, did you go over the last question in the box or no?
So the last question here is maybe Diane, if you want to take the lead with this one. So how does your academic success center stand out from other universities? A very good question.
Right. Well, I think the first thing I would say is when we jump out of bed in the morning, I can speak for my entire staff. There are 10 of us. Our agenda item is to help students. That's what we do every day that we go to work. And whether it's answering emails, meeting with people in person, whatever it is, fielding phone calls. We want to help students be successful. And I'd say we're all of similar mind in terms of wanting to do that. And we understand that students, we've got to figure out where the student's at. And then we start there and then to figure out how to help a student. I mean, the one thing I love about my job is Niagara is not so big, where if a student comes to me, I can figure out, well, who do I have to call to try to help this student? Most of the time I can pick up the phone, if it's a health services question, I can call Adrienne. I've got her number memorized at this point and say, Adrienne, this is a student situation. What does he or she need to do? Or it could be a question for the library, and I'll call Melissa over in the library and say, this is a student situation. Are you going to be able to help her? And then I'll give the student that person's name and email and phone number and have them follow up. Students have to ask too. We understand, and we have a lot of information that we get, and we do chase students down to try to help them sometimes. But don't wait. If you've got a question, all I can say is you've got to ask. It could be an RA, right, Kim, on the floor. It could be Christina in campus ministry. It could be Derek. If you're playing basketball at the Kiernan Center, just ask. Niagara's not so big where it's going to take forever to get an answer to something. Hope that answered the question.
I think just to follow up to that too, one of the things that we have, I think that benefits all of our students, like Diane said, and we've all kind of talked about, is this really good communication amongst the rest of us. So we have a team on campus. It's called our Students of Concern team. And sometimes Diane comes in and she's like, hey, a professor told us that, this one student, maybe they had their grandma passed away. They're not doing so hot. Can someone just reach out to them? And so we're all there at the table. We can kind of coordinate that whole effort to make sure that someone can get to you and make sure that you're okay, check in with you. And that's something I think Niagara does really, really well too. Is just be able to work together on our end to make your experience really good in terms of who's here for you, who knows who you are. You don't just blend into the crowd as another number, but we will know you. We'll know who you are. We'll learn your names. We'll learn where you're from, what's your major, all that good stuff. And now
Awesome.
I see a question. Let me go for it. Next question up.
Sorry.
Well, I see the next question that sort of relates to you, Kim, and so as Kim mentioned, as on the side, she does yoga, not only does yoga, as a certified instructor. And so I don't know, Kim, if you want to start with this, certainly we've leaned on you a little bit, but I'm sure Derek can also chime in and answer this question about yoga classes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Derek.
Okay, so yeah, we do offer, we have a whole series of group exercise aerobic classes that we offer Monday through Thursdays in a normal year from 6 to 10 p.m. at night. So we'll have 4 classes a night. And typically there's 2 to 3 yoga classes per week within that schedule. Also things like Zumba, HIIT exercises, spinning, all different ones, whatever instructors we can find, we'll add them to that schedule. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for group X.
And then there have been times where, your CAs want to get your floor together. So they're like, hey, Kim, come teach yoga to our floor. I'm like, okay. Or, Bill has a cool event that he wants to do. We've tried to do a glow in the dark yoga, but I think COVID kind of got in the way at one point, but just all kinds of fun stuff. But cool. And it's free, which is cool. You don't get this after you graduate college, when all this stuff is free and it's there. And, after college, yoga costs $15 for one class, but it's free in college, which is cool.
Yeah.
And
So
I should mention, because some schools aren't like this, everything at the rec center, if you're a full-time undergrad, that's intramurals. There are dues for club sports depending on the team, but the pool, using the facility, exercise classes, it's all free. It's all part of what you can do as a student here.
Thank you, Derek. I don't know if everyone can hear me.
yes, we can.
Okay, good. I'm back. So thank you for taking over. What are some examples of get to know you activities, icebreakers in the residence hall, in September and throughout the year? Would that be kind of like a combo of a couple of you to answer that question? Maybe Bill.
Yeah, I was just going to volunteer, Kim, but certainly, I'll start a little bit by saying, we offer some pretty dynamic, I guess I have a biased opinion, right? But a pretty dynamic summer and fall orientation programs. So once you become an accepted student, you kind of go into that pool where we'll reach out to you at some point later this year to sign up for those. And whether they're virtual, which we did this past summer, or online, we hire orientation leaders who are upperclassmen who know a lot about the campus, both academically and overall getting involved. And so these are opportunities for you to really to get involved and to join activities. And most importantly, those OLs lead activities that help you meet friends. So, and that's what it's really all about, getting connected, meeting your first few, and then that circles out to others. And certainly, Kim, if you want to talk about the residence halls and how the CAs help get students connected.
Yeah, I mean, so you have your summer orientation where you're going to meet the orientation leaders and in Bill's office, gets all those students up and moving. Then when you come back in August, you're going to meet with them again. So those for the first touch in July, and then again all through August, and then really even into the first couple of weeks, you're going to be having those same experiences from lots of different angles. Your orientation leaders are going to do it in the halls. We're going to do it too. So we're going to have lots of events. Again, sometimes they might be virtual, but we're hoping next year when you guys are here, hopefully we're going to be able to do a lot more in person again. So the RAs or CAs on your floor are going to be able to do those things. And you're even going to take a class called NUB, and that is where you're going to have peer mentors who are also going to be able to do those kinds of things with you. So it's just going to keep going on and on throughout the whole semester. And then your professors, they'll do the, 2 truths and a lie or something like that on your first day of class, just to all these things, just to help you get to know people. That's really one of the good things about Niagara.
Thank you, Kim. And then Kim reminded me that there is a question above about co-pays in the health center for Adrian. Please.
So we will bill your insurance for being seen in the health center, just like a doctor's office. Everybody pays a student fee, and a portion of that comes to the health center, and your co-pays will be taken out of that. So there's no co-pays to be given at the health center.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And then a question about an equestrian team, which we definitely do not have an equestrian team, but there are some places you can around, right, Derek? Maybe just to ride.
Yeah, so those last 2 questions I can hit. There's one about intramural soccer. We do have men's and women's club soccer, which those are the teams that they're coached. They practice a couple times a week and compete at other schools. And we it's getting late, right? Also offer 2 to 3 different intramural leagues, which again, those are the ones that you would get a group of friends, 5, 6, 7 friends, put a team in the league. And again, those are free. And our staff runs it. They're officiated, but you compete against other Niagara University students 1 to 2 times a week in those leagues. Equestrian, we do not have on campus. I know that was looked at once, and I believe there was a bit of an insurance issue with it. So we were unable to start an equestrian club on campus.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else have any other questions that we can answer for you this evening? It's been everyone did a great job. Thank you so much. And looks like we had a pretty good turnout. So we're really happy everyone came. Or anything else anyone wants to add? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great night. I will type my cell phone number into the chat box so that you can text me with any other questions tonight or tomorrow if you think of them. And I guess that'll be it for the night. Oh, okay, yes. Yes, it is recorded and we can get that out to you. I'm sure that we can get that out to you maybe by tomorrow or Monday. So thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Sorry, everyone. I don't know what happened to my computer, but
We were all just here to support.
you're the best. I texted Bill and I called Sarah like freaking out. So
That's all good.
Yeah,
thanks,
worked out.
guys.
We made
Talk
it.
to
Take
you
care,
soon.
everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a
Bye,
good night.
guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.